Ladies and gentlemen, let's gaming Titocom video. Let us discuss the Xbox One from the perspective of a couple of developers. We've of course spoken quite heavily about the PlayStation 4, particularly in the last couple of days, since the damn thing's just been released, but with the Xbox One waiting in the wings, I figure it's a good time for us to clean up now that there's actually been some interviews with some developers and so on. So currently a developer by the name of Twisted Pixels is working on a title known as Lococycle for the Xbox One, and they've given a short interview regarding the specifications and what their thoughts are on the machine. So after we've done with that, we'll hear from another developer as well, because these are pretty short interviews, but I wanted to amalgamate them, if you will, into one video for you guys. In regards to the Kinect and Smart Glass technologies, Jay Stuckwish, I'm hoping I've pronounced that correctly, had said, and I quote, "Kinect and Smart Glass are very interesting technologies. I think we can expect to see a lot of cool uses for these technologies over time. Lococycle was envisioned as an old-school arcade game, so it doesn't really use Smart Glass or Kinect." So, one of the big debates with the Xbox One, I'm sure you'll all agree, and obviously this is out of quote, has been the memory, and shall I say the DDR3, and it's been a fairly controversial decision using DDR3, but Jay on the subject has said the Xbox One's increased performance was a huge help in development and made our life a lot easier. It's an extremely powerful device that opens up the doors to a lot more art-heavy games. They also had added, in regards to the Xbox One's GPU, that in the short term, having more horsepower allows you to solve a lot of your technical challenges with brute force, but in the long term of any platform, you will eventually run up against the performance wall again and need to commit to understanding the platform as deeply as possible. Getting our first Xbox One games running on new hardware and looking better than old Xbox 360 was a very easy thing to do. Now I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, okay, well what about the resolution, my friend? What is it going to be running in? Well, they are going to be aiming for 1080p/30 frames per second on the Xbox One. Meanwhile, we can speak of a different interview. This one is from Iron Galaxy CEO Dave Lang, and he's spoken about the resolutions of the two machines, and he's also spoken a little bit about the performance. So of course this is primarily be aimed at the 1080p 60 versus 720p, and you guys get the drill by now. And he says, "I think it's pretty much a red herring. Most people won't be able to tell the difference. Frame rate really matters more than resolution in my honest opinion. I also think it's a bit early to think of the Xbox One as the 720p machine and the PS4 as the 1080p machine." So, end quote and all. What are my thoughts on this? Well, I think it is kind of early, and here's the thing. I think there is a lot of focus on resolution, but I think that the resolution thing is going to become less of an issue as the machines age. Not so much necessarily because people, the developers, get a parity on the resolutions, but I honestly think that a lot of PS4 games will be running in 720p because they're going to be targeting other things as well. They're going to be going for better lighting or whatever. With the Xbox One, I actually really like some of the titles on it. I've been saying this to a couple of people now. I actually think it's got the stronger lineup between the PS4 and the Xbox One. So I'm definitely going to be getting both machines. So regardless, I think a lot of these questions are going to naturally evolve over time. The Xbox One is certainly going to be a pretty cool machine. I would agree that one of the other problems that a lot of people have found themselves in, and that, they're looking at these pixel resolutions and that's it. Well, in my honest opinion, if the PlayStation 4 ends up just being, say for example, and this is just throwing out the numbers, let's say the PS4 ends up being 1080p and the Xbox One ends up being 900p, I wouldn't exactly say that's a huge major difference. I would actually like to see if the PS4 is indeed as powerful as what people think it is compared to the Xbox One. I would like to see more than just a slight resolution improvement on games. As regards to the Xbox One, I agree. I think it's far too early for anyone to really know what's going to happen. We don't even know how, for example, certain cloud-based technologies from Xbox Live, particularly when it comes to AI, which I honestly think could be really cool. Especially for things such as persistent game worlds. I wouldn't be surprised if both consoles do certain things better than the other. Regardless, this has been a fairly short interview, but I thought I'd just throw it out there just to let everyone know that, there are a couple of bits and pieces of news on the Xbox One right now. Obviously, most of it, unfortunately, is being taken up with the PlayStation 4 launch. Now, I don't say that as anything against the PlayStation 4, it's just getting really difficult to actually find some good Xbox One news, which is kind of a pain in the butt. Hopefully, however, with the Xbox One basically ready to be launched, things are going to become a lot more even rather than all the PS4 news. Not that I mind doing PS4 all day, but I would kind of like to do a little bit of Xbox news as well. Anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.